This is Jesse. He fell in love with Cassidy.
I'm a proud trans woman.
My girlfriend is trans, but I'm not gay. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend, where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants and Satan, shine the light of awareness on woke absurdities, and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters. Now, here we are. We've got a beautiful bit of human interaction. This title, it caught my attention. I took a look at it, and there's some very interesting thinking points in this little video called My Girlfriend is Trans, but I'm Not Gay. So we have an alpha male, Jesse. He's the dude, the doodly looking dude, and his girlfriend is what we might call a male who's gone through all the surgeries to affirm his gender, and that's his girlfriend. My girlfriend is trans, but I'm not gay. And it's interesting, he gets very defensive about the idea of being gay. It's like, dude, you're acting homophobic and you're also like very trans supportive. You might be confused, but maybe not.
Today,
I'm a proud trans woman.
Jesse was raised in a strict conservative family.
One thing I was definitely taught was a natural woman is who you're supposed to be with, and if you're with anybody else, you're going to be out of this household and out of this family.
And their relationship has caused...
Now, I will say this, that's paraphrasing what he just said. I was raised in a very conservative household, and I was taught can only be a woman. If you're with a non-woman, meaning like if you're gay, that's not okay. I just want to say, some conservatives believe it's wrong to be gay. If that's what you think, like I'm all about free thinking, free speech, say and do as you do. That's not my perspective. I don't think there's anything wrong with being gay if that's who and what you are. Cool. Also, side note, completely unrelated, but also super related. I am 95% sure that I was on an airplane with this couple. I was coming back from Mexico a couple years ago from a friend's wedding, and the couple looked just like this. But what I noticed, I'm like, oh, there's a tall looking lady, and keep in mind, this Cassidy is the girlfriend's name. Looks unusually like a woman for a transgender woman. So I was looking at this couple on the airplane, and then I noticed like, oh, she has an Adam's apple that's not very ladylike. And the guy looked just like him. So not that it matters, but I just want to say for the record, I am like at least 90% sure I was on an airplane with them. They kept to themselves. They didn't take their shoes off, which is fine. Let's see more.
It's a stir with loved ones.
The main misconception that people have is that he's gay.
Now that brings up an interesting point. Is he gay? We'll see him actively deny being gay, claiming he's not, which makes him seem homophobic. Stereotypically, a lot of people who act homophobic are actually gay. They keep it a secret. So I'm curious, let me know in the comments below if this man, being with a transgender woman, aka, God-given male, does that make him gay? Question isn't, do you think that anything's wrong with that? But just like being objective and factual and like we lovingly accept anyone's reality, does that make him gay?
I was very apprehensive.
Right.
I didn't know that he was open to having a relationship with a trans girl.
I'm Jesse, and this is my partner Cassidy, who's a trans woman.
Jesse and I met off of Instagram. The first thing I saw was muscles. And so I was like, okay.
I actually messaged her and I let her know that she's beautiful. We were about 3 or 4 messages in, and she said, hey, I just want to let you know that, I'm sorry if it changes the dynamic of things, but I'm a trans woman. And I said, no, sweetheart. You don't have to apologize for that. You're just a special kind of woman.
A woman? A special kind of woman. But a woman? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. By the way, I like how he was already so committed. Like, we're 3 or 4 Instagram DMs deep. Like, this is definitely a heartfelt connection, point of no return. I'm with you, sweetheart, no matter what, through thick and thin, as we met via Instagram.
It was a beautiful moment, and we kicked it off ever since.
We faced a lot of judgment when we started our relationship. I think the main misconception that people have with our relationship is that he's gay. I've received the whole load of hate comments, being like, you'll never be a woman, how dare you? A lot of religious comments too about how I should kill myself and you're going to hell.
Now, let me say this. Cassidy receiving hateful comments on Instagram or wherever Cassidy spends they's time, I don't think that's cool. Like, this is an adult willingly do what an adult wants to do, expressing their free will. Cassidy expresses they's free will differently than I do, but I love freedom, so I am not for radical gender ideology. I'm not for pushing this stuff on kids, but I do think it's also vile to send hateful comments towards people. Also delineating sometimes that you send a factual comment and people, well, that's hate because it's not affirming my reality. I'm not talking about like facts that are mistaken as hate because that helps validate someone being in the position of a victim, but I do think people need to grow up. And like Cassidy is an adult, Jesse is an adult. Is there anything wrong with them being together? According to me, no, because they are two consensual adults. However, there is a little bit of a suspicious wild card. In a second, I'm going to show you Cassidy's Instagram page, which may be having the intention of influencing other people, including kids, to follow Cassidy's way of being. What is not a consensual adult would be minors going through the same surgeries, hormonal alterations that Cassidy has gone through. While I firmly believe consenting adults should do whatever they want to do as long as they're not infringing on the freedom and rights of others, I do believe that kids are a completely different story. They need to be protected. Protected from what? One thing is surgical mutilations. And on that note, today I was on Ground News, that is ground.news, and I came across this article. Check it out. Ohio bans gender-affirming care and restricts transgender athletes despite the GOP governor's veto. So in other words, Ohio, that's my state of origin, ladies and gentlemen, Ohio has taken a step that I think all other states need to take a step to do, which is protecting kids from these radical ideologies that can put their bodies, their safety, and their future in tremendous danger. Ground News is a website and app that compiles news from all around the world in a transparent way so that you can be informed without all the frustration and deception. To me, it is the solution to the problem that freedom lovers have been wanting to solve with all the 1984 propaganda useful idiots trying to inform us. Here's a few key features that I absolutely love that make Ground News completely different than any other news site so that you can know exactly where your news is coming from. First, you have the coverage details, which gives you the total news sources for any given article. And then it also gives you the bias distribution, and that is based on the ratings of 3 independent news monitoring organizations. Not what CNN says they are. Brings transparency. Another feature on Ground News I love is the compare headlines feature. So for example, this top article coming from the left, Ohio bans gender-affirming care and restricts transgender athletes, despite GOP governor's veto. But then if you click to, well, the media organizations on the right, a very different change in terminology in the headlines. Ohio bans biological males from competing in women's sports. That's not a headline the left is gonna write. And I love free thinking. It's one of my #1 values. And make no mistake, Ground News is not a tool that tells you what to think or tries to convince you what to think. It's a tool that gives you more context so you can make up your own mind about what you want to think without bias influence. My friends, if you want to be fully informed without the frustration and deception just like me, go to ground.news/JPReacts. And when you subscribe through my link, you get 40% off unlimited access this month only. Once again, to be fully informed, go to ground.news/JPReacts. And when you subscribe through my link, you save 40% off unlimited access for this month only. Get it. Now Now, before we get back to Jesse and Cassidy, their love story of, she's transgender and he's definitely not gay, let's take a look at Cassidy's Instagram because we do want to be fully informed about potential ulterior motives that could influence kids. If you look at they's Instagram account, Cassidy has almost 70,000 followers, which is pretty good. And you'll see all of these pictures, they're mostly probably like photo shoot oriented. Like, I want the best camera, the best lighting, the best setting. These aren't candid shots, but I want to look the absolute best. You'll see a crotch shot here, which suggests probably surgery. You'll see some Hollywood photo shoots, a Netflix sign in the back. So that begs the question, with those photos, the presentation of they's self along with 70,000 followers, what is this person's motives? What I question is this person trying to leverage transgenderism for the Dylan Mulvaney effect? What I mean by that is Dylan Mulvaney, I think he is the archetypal, I am so hungry for fame, power, people's attention, maybe money, anything I can do to leverage to get more fame, attention, money, I will do. Cassidy seems to be going along those same lines. I mean, first of all, the video that we're watching is like a reality show that's broadcast on YouTube. So Cassidy is not allergic to attention. And I would dare say the photos, the whole Instagram portrayal are engineered around gaining attention. Why I think we should notice that and be cautious of that is a fundamental need of the immature psychology of the human being is we try to validate our worth with attention, aka fame, notoriety, maybe money that makes me feel powerful, that we all need power as well. So kids are attention-seeking organisms. And the more mature you are, the less attention you need to validate your own self-worth because that starts to come from within. However, kids seeing this, kids seeing the amount of attention Dylan Mulvaney gets, the amount of attention Cassidy gets, can program kids to say, well, I need attention. What do I need to do to get attention? It's kind of hard to get attention based on merit and authenticity. So maybe, I do feel insecure. Maybe I am in the wrong body, just like Cassidy. And like, whoa, look at all the attention Cassidy gets. Yep, I'm just like Cassidy. Sign me up for the surgery. Well, not in Ohio anymore. So while I'm the first one to say, you heard me already say it, I have no problem whatsoever with two consenting adults like Cassidy and Jesse doing whatever they want to do. But I do see things we need to be aware of. I do see things that we need an immune system against because this kind of attention-seeking behavior absolutely can influence kids.
So this one says, sir, lipstick and heels doesn't make you a woman.
Fact check true.
You can't change biology.
Fact check true.
You can't change chromosomes.
Fact check true.
You are just an insecure guy who didn't accept his body, so you did plastic surgery. You keep living in your fantasy. It definitely gets to me sometimes, but I can't let it affect my day because I'm used to it. At the beginning of it, I couldn't help.
I was definitely on an airplane with these two.
But think it was my fault for all the backlash that Jesse was receiving. But we persevered through everything, and it was something that really made us stronger.
By the way, those shorts are awesome. I like those shorts.
My upbringing was probably a little more intense than the most. I was brought up around a very masculine family, very toxic masculinity household.
Maybe toxic masculinity. I don't know the details of his household, but I also know that we in our society today look at healthy masculinity, what it is to be a whole man, and we call that toxic. So question that.
I was always taught to act out, be the tough guy. Natural woman is who you're supposed to be with, and that's it. And if you're with anybody else, if you're gay, if you're ever with a trans girl, you're gonna be out of this household and out of this family. My friends and family, at first, they were shocked because the alpha masculine tatted up male is now dating a transgender woman. My family was worried about their reputation, not mine. The whole entire world's gonna know my son's gay. He's dating a trans girl. So we're gonna FaceTime Jordan right now. This is a best friend of mine who's been through with me through all points of my life. So we'll give him a call and see what he has to say because he was reluctant on our relationship in the beginning. Jordan, what's up?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
So I wanted to ask you a couple questions about my relationship because I know it's been a lot. How did you first feel about hearing that I was dating a woman like Cassidy that's trans?
By the way, she's sitting right here. We're probably not going to get his honest thoughts.
I was, definitely a little shocked and apprehensive. It got blown up back here at home, and knowing you my whole life, I didn't know that. I didn't see that.
He wanted to say, I didn't know you were gay.
First things that probably came out was probably he's gay.
People definitely have that perspective on it. I was just very much confused.
I was confused too. Cassidy educated me and said, no, honey, you're straight. Don't you look at me like a woman? I said, yeah. She's like, so where do you find the word gay? And that's when I realized, yeah, I'm not gay at all. I'm an alpha male that's attracted to femininity. And
by the way, like he's an alpha male, but he's insecure enough that he was confused and it took someone else telling him what to think. No, you're not gay. I'm a woman. Okay, now that's what I think. So beautiful hypocrisy there. And also pointing out, like him just needing to deny, I'm not gay, I'm not gay, I'm not gay, really makes him look homophobic. Does that mean he's actually gay? I don't know. But it's also very hypocritical in a amusing way because he's obviously pro-trans, like that's what he's calling his girlfriend, but he's also like so homophobic. He just needs to relentlessly deny that he's gay. He's like, I don't stand for LGBTQ. I stand for LBTQ. Let's leave the G out of this, guys. I don't like them.
that's exactly what I got right here.
What was your first impression of hearing that Jesse was dating a trans girl?
I didn't know that he was open to having a relationship with a trans girl.
Not the best question because Jesse just asked the friend that exact same question. She's like, let me ask a question. It was going to be the same question.
So it was shocking to me at first. And it was new for all of us, but when I saw how happy Jesse was, all my...
See, that's the Adam's apple I saw in the airplane. So weird. I was on a plane with these guys.
transgression went out the window. Yeah. And I realized it doesn't matter to me. It's what makes Jesse happy.
I really appreciate you, Jordan, for seeing me as I am and not what other people say about me and what other people project onto me.
Like I said, Jesse's happiness is what matters to me.
Awesome, Jordan.
Now, I don't know if that friend is actually doing that. I don't know if he's actually accepting Cassidy for who she says he is, or if he just felt pressured to act like that on camera. But I will say, I do think it is a beautiful thing to accept a person for who they are, which, by the way, if someone happens to be mentally ill, but they're in denial of it, going with their denial of it isn't accepting them for who they are. It would be accepting them like, oh, here's a person with a mental illness who's in denial of it. We have to accept all of that to truly accept who they are. And with that said, I think actual accepting is a beautiful thing.
You're the best.
Hey, brother, I appreciate you. You know I love you since day one.
That sounded gay.
And ain't nothing ever gonna change over here.
No doubt, bro. I love you too.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
It's been amazing seeing my best friends eventually come around, and my mother and some of my uncles and aunts. It's truly
And I
amazing.
never had that, somebody's family give me that type of love and appreciation before. I always knew I was a woman. I started transitioning when I was 14.
Now that does raise an interesting question. Cassidy starts transitioning when she is 14. Now that's like, okay, obviously a minor at this point. At that point, not allowed in Ohio anymore. I've been saying these are two consenting adults, and yes, they are two consenting adults now, but Cassidy was not a consenting adult when started undergoing the changes that made they appear the way they are today.
And at that time, it was not spoken about. And I had to do it in the safety and the privacy of my room, my bedroom, and that was the only time when I got to be myself. I have found it Definitely hard to date as a trans woman. Guys,
Attention-seeking photos.
most of the time, I don't think is ready to put that out there.
Most guys would actually have the perspective of, I would have to be gay to date you. So just being real with it, that's part of the challenge of Cassidy's past dating experiences.
My family reacted to the relationship, I think, more cautious than anything from what I've dealt with in the past. Relationships with abuse and trauma. They were scared. They were nervous. They saw his pictures. They were like, oh God, a tatted up, biker. They were like, Cassidy, what are you doing? And I was like, no, like you have to meet him. Like you have to, see him and feel his energy.
Cassidy's changed my life for the better because she is slowly helping remove the hate that's been instilled in me since a kid.
Just knowing that I have somebody that fully supports me, no matter what I do, he's always there for me.
Our message is, don't be scared to embrace who you love. Because if I was still scared to let it out to this world, I would be hiding everything that is so beautiful about us. But instead, I let it out there.
Throughout our hardships and throughout us being judged so much in our relationships, we want to show that it's still possible to live a happy relationship and not even care about what people think.
I don't care what people think. Look at my Instagram. I really care what people think. I would love to take them at face value and truly hope that they're making each other happy. They're finding themselves through this relationship. I do hope it's beautiful and I wish them the best. But the question at hand has to do with truth and reality. My girlfriend is trans, but I'm not gay. Is that true, or do you think there's another reality? Do you think he, by definition, is gay? Maybe is in denial of it. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Let me know what you think in the comments below as we've taken a look at a interesting phenomenon in today's world.